Thank you for joining us again today for Devotions with Brother Aaron. I've entitled today's devotion, Crops from the Seeds We've Sown. I wrote the devotion you're about to hear 11 years ago in 2015. In Galatians 6:7, the Bible explicitly states, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." This truth is an irrevocable law that transcends the whole Bible and every action of mankind. In short, we don't sow corn seeds and reap tomatoes. If we sow corn seeds, we reap corn. And that's not just biblical and scientific truth, it's common sense. But I'm afraid that somewhere along the way, as Americans and as Christians, we have lost sight of this truth. As I sit at my computer writing this devotion, it is the week immediately following the horrific terrorist attack in France. And while my heart is broken for the French people, especially the families of those killed, and while there is certainly no justification for what has happened, I cannot help but wonder if we are not somehow reaping what we have sown. We have sown the seeds of political correctness and tolerance. Our own president refuses to use the term militant Islamic terrorist and has stated that we have ISIS contained. Then the serpent strikes, and we stand amazed that he did so. It's puzzling to me. I read a Facebook post the other day that said, "When I see a snake, I do not take the time to determine if he is a good snake or a bad snake. He's a snake, and I do everything within my power to kill him." How foolish would it be for us to see a snake in our garage, shut the door, and tell others we have contained him? Now, why wouldn't we do that? Because common sense teaches us that he will either find a way out or attack our loved ones and us when we enter the garage. Somewhere along the way, we have gone brain dead and have lost sight of common sense and the truth that we will reap what we sow. We have sown the seeds of political correctness and tolerance and have stood silently as the platform of our Judeo-Christian values has been dismantled one plank at a time. In the name of political correctness and tolerance, we have allowed prayer to be taken from our public schools and discipline to be taken from the hands of those in authority. We have allowed the 10 Commandments to be taken from our schools, courthouses, and public buildings. We have legalized the murder of our unborn babies. We have legalized sodomy and same-sex marriage. And sadly, we have devalued traditional marriage to the point where couples no longer see the need for marriage. And if couples do get married, divorce seems to be their first solution for any marital problem. Yet we stand amazed when we reap the crops from those seeds. It's not much better in the church world. We brought so much of our modern society and culture into the church that we have diluted biblical principles and moral absolutes to the point where we have little to no impact on people and society. We see no need to have our family in Sunday school or church on Sunday. We have eliminated our Sunday evening services, and our church activities must now be scheduled around schools and sports. The cold, hard truth is that we have sown and continue to sow seeds that will produce a most difficult crop to deal with. Another cold, hard truth is that if we want a different crop, we must start sowing different seeds. Now there's a novel concept for you. It is time we once again hear and govern ourselves by the words of Joshua as he spoke to the children of Israel in Joshua 24:15. He says, "And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. The biblical, scientific, and common sense truth is that we reap crops from the seeds we've sown. And if we want a better crop, we must start sowing better seeds. God, would you help us today to realize this simple truth? God, we're reaping today the crops from the seeds that we sowed yesterday. God, if we want to reap a different harvest tomorrow, then we must change the seeds we're sowing today, God. Lord, burn that in our heart. God, help us not to simply stand and criticize and moan and groan and complain about the crop we're getting today. But God, let us purpose in our heart to start sowing seeds that will change the crops that we will reap in the future. And I ask this in your name. Amen.